Hi, and welcome to a great webinar tonight. This is just the perfect time to talk about how to make money one season at a time. And Carol just had a great tip. Carol, tell them what you just said.
Well, what makes me excited is the word money. I love money.
Uh, so we thought tonight we would even take it one step further. We're going to talk about some of the benefits of offering seasonal decorating and in light of the fact you can make money, why you would even entertain this. But the real treat tonight is that not only something at the very end, but we're going to share with you one of we call it a done for you presentation. That basically means we have a couple of these because we have a lot of times students go, oh my gosh, how am I going to do a presentation to a real estate office? Or how am I going to get business? And so, making a workshop, Carol has an awesome one she's going to tell you about. But having these done for you presentation is basically all you have to do is plug your information in. It is done for you. And you start right out of the gate looking like an expert. So we want you tonight to open the door to this new decorating niche. And I'll be honest, when we first started, we all love to decorate before we even got into the business. But when Carol and I offered the seasonal decorating certification class, gosh, Carol, it's been almost 9 years ago, I think.
I went back and we were looking at some stuff today and I thought, oh my gosh, 2013? Really? Well, that's a long time ago.
Well, we knew we had a couple of people mention it to us, and so we did a workshop, just a webinar just like this. And at the end, we offered a seasonal decorating certification class. And we had like 50 people sign up within 2 days. And we're like, okay, everybody wants to know about this. And as you know, we always like to update and perfect it. We do it at least once a year. Sometimes Carol has to tell me to stop. I mean, but we like updated material. But Carol, I'm going to let you kick us off since you're talking about money tonight, why we would want to even offer this.
Well, it's that little quiet secret that people just forget about it. So when we started researching this, and it's not just Christmas, guys, I mean, it's all the holidays, that Americans spend 228.4 billion
Billion.
with a B on holidays and 5.8% on decorations and costumes. So these holidays are, so Christmas they spend 59.2 billion with the B, or 1%, and that's 135.16 billion. And of course, I'm not going to read all these to you, but look at Halloween, just how $6 billion
That's
is spent
incredible.
on Halloween decor. We need some of that, guys. I want some of that money. I don't want to do all that.
Exactly. And if you're spending this kind of money on the decor, you want it to look good. And we all know that there's nothing like a holiday to add some stress. We got working folks, we've got where do I put it, not having that insight. So that alone tells you they care enough about it. They want their homes to look great during these seasonal changes, but they don't always know where to put it or have the time to do it. So,
And it's fun to look at that, IBIS and see, what it is. I want to know how much I'm going to make. And so holiday decorating jobs can pay as much as $49,000 a year, but the national average is 30. And because of, you think, would you like to add 30,000 to the bottom line? Because it's not all at the same time. I mean, it's very cyclical. And so you have a real push for October, November, December, and then, maybe a little bit in January, and then it kind of, trickles in. So it's not like this is all you do. But boy, to add another 30,000 to the bottom line, I wouldn't shake a stick at that.
No, and Carol, this was from Indeed. Was that correct?
No, this is from the Zip Recruiter.
Zip Recruiter. That's right.
Right.
I'm sorry. I should have put that on
Yeah,
there.
this is what they said was the national average. Also, the projected growth for this particular industry is it starts as low as 44,000 and reaches as high as 80,000 a year. So the growth is 43.7% to 2010 to 2020. So, and this is according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So, I mean, you know, when we've got the talent and we've got the skills, we need to make money at this. So the bottom line is we've got the talent, we got the skills. Let's do it. So some of the benefits of seasonal decorating is its additional revenue stream at a time when we all could really use some additional revenue stream, you know, during this October, November, December. And you're adding additional services for your already clients, and this can be a repeat customer. You already have a database to tip into to say, oh, by the way, you know me, like me, and trust me. Guess what else I can do for you? I can also decorate your house for the seasons. It can stand alone. Maybe some of you out there are on this call because you're thinking, maybe I might want to become a decorator. And this is a good way to kind of tip your little toe in the water to see, do I really like this idea? And it's a perk for your current clients because, like I said, they already know you. So you can just reach out to that ready-made database. And, you know, it's an easy sell. Nobody, I mean, I'm already mad at Hobby Lobby. I walk in there and I'm going, if you start this any sooner, I'm going to have to stop coming in here. Because, you know, we as women and mothers and, you know, the head of the household of most of you that are on there and everybody, we work hard. And if somebody were to walk in and say, let me take this off your plate, you know, it'd be like, you know what? I think I'm going to let you this year, you know, and it's very specialized. So, because, you know, it makes it fun because everybody is different. So we got the little homespun over here and we got the litz and glitz and the black trees and the, you name it. And it makes it just really a lot of fun to step into something different almost every single day.
And you know what I like too, in referencing to the client perks, you know, when depending on how long everybody has been in business or just starting out, or like Carol said, we're just trying to see what this is about. It's a great way to use those creative juices of ours. But it is also okay to say, gosh, I'm really busy with my client load. And that's kind of what happened to me. It's like, I don't have time to decorate my own tree this year. So I don't have time to really make this a big focal point. But if I've got a really good client, I can say, you know, I'm only doing seasonal decorating during the holiday season for my established clients. There is that fear of missing out, like, okay, can I get on your list next year? Or can you help me at Halloween? But it's okay to say, hey, I've done this as a full-blown service and taken new clients, but this year I'm trying to just really, you know, offer this as a perk to my clients. That makes your clients feel really, really good. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, Sandra's only working with her established client.
She can't help you. I'm sorry. She's
I'm
only.
sorry. Is that fear of missing out, everybody?
So Sandra, why don't you share a little bit of the pros and cons with us?
I would love to. So like Carol was saying, we can have those repeat customers that have already got in the queue to put us on their schedule. You can help them, just like we like to say in our decorating and our staging. We'll help you as much or as little as you need for us to. Every time we say that, you see that client breathe. So if your client is afraid to commit, because sometimes they don't know what you charge yet until you get there for that consultation. And let me just say, our consultation for the seasonal decorating does not leave one thing to guess. You know, we always believe if you have that clarity, then there is no like, oh gosh, you didn't tell me that. So if you're letting them know, hey, you know, and y'all know my homeowners always marry my client, my faux client. Mary, you want me just to help you with your centerpieces or just your tree? Because a tree, I mean, when you say putting lights on a tree, if it's not pre-lit, they're already starting to sweat. So you're going to help them as much or as little as you want, as they need for you to, and it might be as much or as little as you can work into your schedule. People will always see value in seasonal decorating because, like we've said before, it's a stress-filled time for them. Sometimes it's more physical than mental. So that's the thing. You can always hire some help to help you. You can come up with the design plan, what you want those extra elements to look like in the space. Think about it. It's a low overhead, except for your toolbox that does not have to be a big expense for seasonal decorating. Your client is buying all of the add-ons, you know, if it's an ornament, if it's a wreath, if it's greenery, if it's a tablecloth, that is passed on to them. And it has a high profit margin. And listen, one thing that we always say, we do the math. So we know what we can make from this project, and you'll learn that in your consultation, but it has a high profit margin for simply because of that low overhead. So the cons can be, and we always have some cons when we're looking at a service, is it is a seasonal business. But when you list all the seasons and all the opportunity, it could be a graduation season, you know, come graduation time, that is a seasonal time. So if you're looking at it just in terms of the biggies, so it could be a limited time. You can limit your clients. Let's say you don't really focus on this throughout the year. You haven't marketed, let's say, you do need to do some of that. Then your client list may be smaller than you want. So you have to think about, spend a little time on that. It's not a recession-proof business, but it is a business. So what we mean by that is you can have some fluctuations. I mean, listen, last year is a perfect example. We had COVID. It wasn't necessarily recession-proof, but it was not a COVID-proof. We didn't go into as many homes. So in some ways that's a plus because you only went into the homes, let's say you were comfortable and it was, you know, the guideline said you could at that point. But at the same time, if you don't want to, you don't have to. And if you also may have clients that are not comfortable. I was saying this, you know, asking those questions before I even went into decorating clients. So you have that opportunity to be creative. And we have literally just listed a few, but these are what we say are the core decorating and creative opportunities. There's the tree. Now listen, a tree is not just for Christmas either. I have this cute little tree and I love to decorate it for Mardi Gras. I decorated it when it was graduation time. It was almost like, okay, what's Sandra doing with that tree? And then I had a one from Pier 1 where it was metal and the branches came up and it was in my powder room. So I kind of carried on that theme a little bit. So we have mantles, we have tables, we have wreaths, bows. That's a creative opportunity. Any door, it doesn't have to just be the front door, but you know, you want to welcome those guests, chandeliers. And I love being able to find those surprise elements. That's where you get to go, okay, oh my gosh, let's decorate whatever it might be for, you know, like I had a moose, an iron moose on my front porch. And sometimes we would decorate that crazy, like, you know. So there's great ways to find your creativities. Okay, Miss Money Girl, go for it.
Oh, money, money, money. Okay, so what can you charge for this? Well, I think a lot of it is on your speed and experience. You know, if you've never done it before, then, you know, I always tell my students in my other classes, you don't want to give a penalty to your homeowner because you're new and slow. So you need to find what works best for you. But if you're going to be charging by the hour, it could be $35, $75, up to $150 an hour Or you can assess the whole project and say, I'll do the tree, the mantle, and the front door. And for that, I will charge X. And then it doesn't matter how long it takes you. You know, if it takes you 2 days on the tree and a half a day on the door and a half a day on the mantle, then fine. But you've already decided what the design's going to be for the project. And also, which is something I like a lot, especially with staging, I charge by the day or half day. So I will decorate everything I can possibly do in a half a day. Now, if you want all the rooms done and blah, 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 more than likely it's going to be a whole day. And I'm this much for a half a day and this much for the whole day. It also could be by the product. You know, so a lot of it depends. I mean, let's say you've got a new bride. This is her first Christmas. She doesn't have anything. She doesn't have a garland. She doesn't have a posy. She doesn't have any lights. She got nothing. So anything that you buy, you price plus 20% for anything that you buy for her. And then you're going to plus it 50% if you bought it wholesale. And that's why we like having these kind of webinars early. I mean, it's just the end of August. There is time for you to go in and make those connections and get your product wholesale before the crunch really hits. So make sure that you check that out. But if you end up having it, but I can tell you, man, every time I go to market, I'm on floor 20, 19, 18, and 16 first thing, because that's where all the Christmas is, because I love the Christmas decor. And I can tell you, because I have been a student of Christmas decor for 50 years, I can tell you that I know what this stuff costs retail. And when I walk in and see what I can get, some of that ribbon and some of that, for nothing when it's wholesale. So this is a great time to be thinking, am I going to do it this year? And if it is, then that's the reason we did this tonight, so that you would have time to make your decision.
And I love that point too, Carol, because if you're really, really new and you go, oh my gosh, I don't have a resale license yet, which it takes a minute and doesn't cost anything. If you don't have your resale license, listen, there's some great retail options. I love Costco ribbon. That white, the one with the white, love it.
Love it.
And we got a couple things coming up to show you that you can get retail. But you see the difference. I usually will always try and pick out one or two unique additives to a tree or to the holiday season that I know that my client is not going to see at Hobby Lobby. And I just will, and they love the fact, and they are happy to pay. And that is very standard. So it's not like anybody's going to, and you're not necessarily announcing it, what you are bringing to them for their inventory that they may not have.
Right.
So I love this about seasonal decorating. This is that marketing that doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, I got to post. Oh my gosh, I got to do this. So don't be afraid to give some of your information away. These live demonstrations, just like we're about to show you an opportunity to do that. That's where they're like, oh my gosh, that is such a different idea. Guys, some of it we have just curated for them. We have brought these ideas to them, and you'll see a holiday newsletter, 3 ways to tie a bow, volunteering for charities. During going to the mall, you'll have a parade of trees, and that's a great way to showcase your skills. And contact the media, let them know, hey, I'm participating in the Festival of Trees. I would love for you to come see this. And think about it, that's a write-off because you are donating this to go to charity. This is just something I put in. My girlfriend has a Halloween party. We bring canned goods for this food bank. But so I didn't know what to expect. And you don't get in the door without a hat on. I mean, you are coming to the party prepared and looking good, festive. So I thought, okay, so I need to say what I do. So the first time I went, I was a decorator witch. So I had the sliders, the paint samples. So there's just lots of ways to market what you do. I mean, you could come to a Halloween party as the Christmas tree, but it better be decorated different. So here's just some tips on getting noticed. Prepare 30-second segments, just 3-minute little seconds, 3 minutes of them. And depending now with social media, one platform wants it, certain time, and another platform wants it another. You can't go wrong by writing a blog. It's free. Make sure somebody proofs it. Send little ticklers out, like, have you planned your front door wreath for the holidays? Or it could be Valentine's. It's beyond hearts, and give them something to get them interested. Here's a couple ideas. Holiday decorating for under $10. Listen, you can go to the Dollar Tree and get some amazing ideas.
And I'm telling you, that Dollar Tree stuff, I don't know about you, but I get something from Home Talk, I guess it is.
Yeah.
I get something just about every day, and it's like someone else has gone to the dollar store and they're putting something else together for $1. And it's like, wow, that's really cool.
And listen, I think it was my last tree, I needed that element, and I went to the Dollar Tree and I got the sign that you would stick in the yard, and I just broke it over my knee. I took the post off, and that got jammed into my tree. So I had a couple of those. So it gave a little dimension. I mean, they were like big, and they were $1. So I thought, if I don't like them, I'm just going to toss them.
And how much was it?
$1. Okay, so we've given you some insight about why you want to consider seasonal decorating, the money, the flexibility. So there are way more pros than cons, but we thought tonight we would just pretend you're the audience, kind of let you see how easy this is. So this is one, and think of some creative title. The Busy Woman's Guide to Holiday Decorating. It could be, the busy whatever, like coming up for air during the holidays. Just something, or if you can think of a cute title that relates to your region of the country, or southern, it could be.
And it's called Holiday Decorating with More Flash Than Cash.
Love it.
So that they can find cheap, inexpensive ways. But I'll tell you all about mine a little bit later. So, but I do, and I let the crowd get involved. And so, I do something called Addicted to Decorating, but I do it one for the holidays, and that's the Holiday with More Flash Than Cash. And then I let them play. So anyway, we're going to talk you through, if you decided to do, it could be your Sunday school class. It doesn't have to be, renting a theater and having 300 people. It could be 6, it could be small. So hit it, Sandra, hit us with.
Okay, we got a great question from Miller. Thank you, Miller. This is a good one. Listen, Miller just started this like about asking a specific question. Any question you ask, we love, because we probably have had that challenge, or we know somebody. Decorating for Christmas can include putting lights on trees, indoors and out, or even a house. That's a different skill set than what our stagers have. Absolutely. Ditto, ditto. I've tried it and found that putting lights on a tree is a challenge, especially when it's 12 feet tall. Yes. She's hired movers. I won't read all this, but like, any suggestions on the lights? Okay, so first of all, Miller, and I think you were at when we have had our conference in Atlanta during America's Mark, Kirby Holt gives us some great tips about zigzagging them into the branches. But you're right. It's one thing to hire somebody to do the task that you can't reach, or that you don't want to do because you want to do go on to something else. You do have to make sure you've educated them. And as you do this more and more, I suggest you have that team that, give them the lessons, tell them how to tie a bow. Because then if you're having to teach them on the job, that goes back to what Carol said about, you can't penalize your homeowner if you are teaching your staff, because you're charging that homeowner for your help unless you bid them already into the quote. So yeah, so you need.
Most people, Sandra, are buying pre-lit trees.
Yes, but
there's
Miller's
a new kind of webbing out for trees that it's like about this wide, and the lights go crisscross, kind of like what you would put on your your shrubs out front, but
Yes.
it's about this wide, and then it can go around the tree, and all of a sudden you've got it's all
It's a
done.
wave. It's a wave. It's a wave. Well,
It's a wave. And instead of being like one Z, two Z's, it's moving 12 and 20 at a time.
so that's a good point, Miller. So first of all, see if there's any product that's going to make your life easier. Next, you need to make sure who you've hired to do this task knows how to do it. And then the other thing is, don't forget to consider all this when you're bidding the job, because if it's a 12-foot tree, it's going to take some time, even just to decorate. So that's like we have, and I don't know if you've had the class yet, but we have in there some ways to calculate how to bid jobs. And usually when we've added a form, it's because we've realized, oh my gosh, this took longer than I thought. So I hope that helps. Okay, so let's hit this presentation. This is just one of the two that are available. So the first thing you want to do is you want to let them know who you are. This was just a goofy picture. I put it up because think about it. If you are selling your seasonal decorating services, you're presenting to people who don't know anything or who want to learn or who want to get to know you so that they can hire you. So this was just really simple. This was a ugly sweater, party. And, I just let them know this is my favorite season. I believe in making parties easy. Oh, I own this company. I do this, I decorate, do a couple other things. I'm a trainer with the Decorating and Staging Academy. I love sharing and speaking to, folks like you. And I also do holiday and interior decorating. So you may not have your business going yet, or you might, but the bottom line is if you're in front of them, you love sharing information. I am here to get you all excited about Thanksgiving or Easter. I've got so many ideas. I'm going to have to talk fast. So this is where you would insert your photo. You would change the copy for what you are going to share. Carol and I always like to include a slide to let people know we're not claiming every photo that you see in this presentation is ours. We are using these for educational purposes, and if we know who to give credit to, we love giving credit. And if you know that somebody's going to be in the audience that has done something unique or different, give them a shout out. So when I had put this one together, I was trying to think of ways to make holiday decorating or me coming in to decorate for you seem manageable. We're going to do some redesigning. We're going to redesign your mindset, the front door or that welcome to your guest. We're going to have touches throughout the home. We're going to talk about and look at ways to redesign those holiday gatherings so they're easy and stress-free. And we're going to look for one unexpected thing to do in your home. Now, the minute you put up a slide like this, they're going, okay, now what about my mindset? Okay, what have I got in my home that's going to be unexpected? So you've got them thinking right off the bat by giving them some tips of what you're going to focus on. So first, let's talk about your mindset, Mary, and our group. Let's talk about our mindset. I want you to just start by closing your eyes and freeing yourself of the past, what you've done before, what your holidays look like, what your neighbor did, what your peers are doing. So just don't even think about that. We're going to wipe the slate clean. I want us to look for 3 to 5 decorating opportunities. I want us to think about how to get the most mileage of the effort, how we can save you money, and how to keep what you're doing this season, whatever season it might be, fresh. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you, they've closed their eyes. They're in therapy, right? The minute you lead them through this, because I've watched it happen when I have done this. So the 5-minute approach is, and I added this because I do this, I will give myself a deadline. If you want to say to Mary, let's pick 3, or if she says, no, I want you to do it all, that's fine. But if you're going to go home tonight and try laying out what you want to pick, just pick 3 to start with. You can always come back and add. So pick 3. And so, you know, that's what she's going to be thinking about. We're going to spend 5 minutes to pick which 3. Now we're going to spend 5 minutes and set your, you know, stopwatch on your phone if you need to. And you want to come up with, just brainstorm. There's no right, wrong. We're not thinking budget at this moment, but brainstorm everything you can about what you could do different in your centerpiece. If you really don't have a budget, then you're going to really brainstorm about what's already in your home. Then you're going to take 5 minutes. Now you can have some time, they can get some time in between to execute it, but you're going to give yourself 5 minutes to go do that centerpiece. If you're saying, oh my gosh, Sandra, it's going to take me more than 5 minutes, I really want to see how far you get in 5 minutes. By setting the clock, it puts you in a very focused, well, no, maybe I'll try this. No, we already did the design plan. And Carol knows, I give myself X amount of time to decorate my tree, because otherwise it becomes a chore and I don't enjoy the holidays as much. So the same thing, if you're getting ready to entertain, you set that clock to get the main core pieces out and see how far you got. You start to get faster and more efficient. And then the other thing is, think about mishaps, what could happen, and you got yourself 5 minutes to solve it. I always said when I was helping with events, I had my mishap bag. So, okay, there was the thread, the needle, you know, Zots, glue, you know, tape, whatever I needed. So think about having some of those, but it's a 5-minute plan. Now, people will think, can I do it? But at the same time, they will be thinking, okay, I'm willing to try setting my stopwatch. So next we can talk about front doors, because let's say your client, now, you know, you're talking to the audience. Okay, let's assume that one of your things that you were going to decorate, remember you got 3, was the front door. This is your opportunity to welcome the season. And I grew up, I'm telling you, my mother did not have anybody over, but that I wasn't out there sweeping the porch. You know, we were not having debris on the front porch before party time. So you do want to set that stage to welcome your guests. How simple is this, guys? Styrofoam balls and just wrap them in yarn, or it could be a ball of yarn. So
just go with the ball of yarn.
Yeah. The other one sounds like way too much work. It was going to take more than 5 minutes. So I love this. Now, this is a wreath from Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has an awesome, it's just a boxwood type wreath, but this is showing you how you can do that one wreath 5 different ways. And also be prepared. You may have your client say, gosh, I love what you did at Susie's house. Well, you know, Mary, I am way too creative to do the same thing twice. Let's do something different. Let's see what you're into, what your family would like to see. So these are the wreaths that you can get. This I thought was very unique. This is, and I encourage you guys this is Studio 5. This is one of my local news channels. And this was a gal, I did not do this wreath to give her credit. I wish I knew her name, but Studio 5, I'm giving them credit. What a different ways just to give an influence of a ribbon in a different way than just your typical bow. Then it got to hang low and make that whole door feel like it was more on scale and proportional. Then they took the wreath, that same Trader Joe's wreath, and they added some picks in there. So some simple pine cones, some eucalyptus, and a sprig or 2. Gave a much more dimensional feel. Now we've added a little extra influence here, a little bark. That one of them I saw had feathers, and you just sprayed it gold. Here's a little bird nest and a few little silver elements, but not many. This is almost like, this is what I have in my inventory. And then on the right side on the bottom, just some different colored balls, some added that color that could have been the color scheme. And then this one on the top is actually really pretty too. It added more whimsy, that dimension coming out, and kind of that smoky gray blue pine cones and eucalyptus, succulents. So just different ways, one wreath, 5 different ways. So I'll just share a few of these real quick. How interesting. I have one wall that has three-dimensional deer heads right now. One's patchwork, one's gold, one's something else. But how cute just to wrap one with a scarf, let's say, winter type scarf, one with a wreath. There's ways to make that whole wall with three elements. Put the jingle bell light up necklace around one. How simple is that? If you have a farmhouse, very urban, this is by Urban Farm Girl is who did this one. But how simple. Everything is following that theme between that burlap to the signage. So, and again, you're showing your audience this, and they're going, oh my gosh. And your goal is to find some new ones. You don't have to, you can use just this. But if you wanted to change them out, you could. So this is, you can do an embroidery hoop. You can do a hula hoop. I really got addicted to decorating my hula hoops there for a while. I had to have some therapy about that. I had to pull back a little bit. In fact, this reminded me, we just made a wreath out of a bicycle wheel at my mother's house. But just how simple is this? Look for these circular, it doesn't have to be circular, but what can you use that's unexpected to welcome the guest at the front door?
And Sandra, I have a thought in here in that, so now you're talking to your audience and, your Sunday school class, whoever you've got here, and get them interactive. Tell me what your wreath looks like. Make them talk back to you. What's the most unusual thing you've ever put on your front door? And that takes so much pressure off you
Yes.
doing the presentation when you get them talking, because then you get a banter going and then it becomes so interactive. And that's what you want in any kind of presentation, is to get them involved. Yeah, look at this. Isn't this simple? I love this.
I know.
They do this.
I know. Well, and I have to say, the one on the right, I saw something very similar to this at Home Goods. It was $14.99. It was, long and skinny, and it was so practical if you did not have a big door or you wanted to put it on a wall. But like Carol said, you could get some branches and have them cut already and let people make a small wall hanging. You could just bring a whole hodgepodge of ornaments, and let's face it, you can go to Restore or Dollar Tree, wherever it might be. You can get a big bucket at Walmart, and they're like $5. So there's ways to just do those unexpected things. I mean, you could put little tags. You could put whoever your guest is for the night. Just ways to make it fun. So I love this. This goes along with what Carol was saying, getting everybody involved. And if you can give an idea that can transition to different seasons or occasions, then they're going to love that, because, we haven't had to work to death here. So this is just, even if you go to your Christmas tree lot, and half the time they'll just give you whatever. They want to move some of those extra, that greenery out, but have a variety of that. You want to have some wire cutters, some filler type ornaments, and you might need some that have the picks on them or the wire, so it makes it easy. But this is what you're going to do. I mean, how many of these do we, recycle? Hopefully, but these wire hangers, and you're going to bend it and let them bend it right there, and you've made a nice narrow welcome for your guest. Now, here is taking that same wire and doing some unexpected decorating with it. I love this upside down one in the middle. Carol, I'll let you talk about figures.
Okay. And then, of course, anytime that you can take it outside, and I love using this birch. I have some of it, but I bought it at market, so it was only paper, so I couldn't put it outside. It was just rolled paper. But I have found some real birch since, and these are so dramatic and so easy and very inexpensive. And keeping it simple and yet stunning, to just put a snowflake on each pane of glass.
And that's a good way for them to get their kids involved.
Right. And then, what I would do is they were all sitting at tables for 8, okay, I'm doing addicted to decorating. They're there for the day. And so I teach in the morning and then we eat some lunch and then then in the afternoon, I say, okay, now it's your turn. And the decorations that I used on each one of their tables, I just sat there and it was all of my Christmas decor, of which I have thousands of dollars worth. And so I had all that set on each table. And then I said, okay, table 1, you're going to do a mantle. Table 2, you're going to do a table. Table 3, you're going to set a table with a centerpiece. And so they had all these things that they could play with. And they go away thinking they have it. Meanwhile, I could have gone to the bathroom, gone and had something to, get a cup of coffee. Because they were just busy little bees having a wonderful time at this event. But never underestimate the power of just using colorful balls. The touches just keep continuing. So,
and you could be sharing with them too, guys, some accessory rules, odd numbers. We want to vary the heights. I mean, that's where, again, you're teaching them and you're sharing information. But if you get that opportunity to do a hands-on, then you're like, okay, now let's stand back. Can we see our guest across the table while we're eating? So those little tips.
And so, here again, the balls, and you can buy a big, huge thing of red and white or red, green and white or all red or all silver from Costco for very little. I mean, we're talking 300 or more. And then, of course, there's always the ones that they could put something in, that they could create something. And so it makes it easy. It makes it fun. And, they love, the reason that they reach out to you is they love this, but they either don't know how, don't have the time, or
the budget.
Right. And so you're going to open their minds. And then here again, nothing to do but the jingle bells and the balls, just keeping it simple.
And this could be like that container that Carol was talking about, and you just got some glitter, a couple of different glitter spray paints and transformed it. And then next year it may be hot pink, and the next year it could be black and gold, or, lots of different things.
I don't recommend taking a paint for your day.
Oh, yeah.
Don't want them painting in the hotel.
Exactly. Now, not if it's your workshop. Right. But you're giving them these ideas of what to do.
Right. But I mean, open their mind. Who would have ever thought to paint the, what are those, Sandra?
The artichokes?
Artichokes. My mind just had the A, but that was it. Okay. And then the shells, just to paint the shells. I mean, I have a lot of clients that love anything to do with seashells.
Yes.
Continuing the ball thing with just paper, gift paper, wrapping it up and creating, a beautiful little hanging with the perfect bow. Now you will need to learn how to make what they call a florist bow.
Yeah, it's super simple. And guys,
it's all over YouTube.
Exactly. And guys, you're just going to brush that. The thinner the paper, the better. You're going to brush it with a little glue and water, and that makes it stay. And this is a good time to tell you, because it's a good slide for this. I took really, really thin paper, so cheap, and I photocopied in black and white the ski mountain. I just went to a magazine and copied some, slopes and mountains. And I used the glue, that what I was just telling you, and put it on there. And that wasn't a seasonal thing. Well, you could say it was a winter season, but it was something different besides, wicker balls or something. So it was just a way to personalize it.
And then, of course, you can get a stencil and create your own. So what we're thinking is, of course, the easy way to do it is to go buy the candles with stencils already on it. Okay, but maybe their budget doesn't allow for that. And for you to use that creativity that you as a designer decorator have, and can give them something that would sell high quality for so simple just by using your creativity. They're going to be yours forever.
And these templates, you can get them free. So many people offer them free. You can do nothing more than punch it on some black paper and then wrap it around a glass candle. You can put the little beads, you know, the little pin heads, and use the template and do it that way. So you're giving them ideas.
So, you know, share with us what Thrifty and Chic had to say about. And there's my apothecary jar. Those of you that know me, I love give me an apothecary jar and a stick, and I got it, and a tray.
That's right.
And a tray.
And I did this on the fly one time. I was doing a holiday decorating event at a cupcake shop. And let me tell you, we had sugar at a cupcake shop. So we literally used what we had and put the sugar in there and then decorated that. I mean, how adorable is this? You know, sweaters that, you know, you've outgrown or accidentally put in the dryer, but just which is candle. So, but how unique. And again, you've given them the ability to look around there, shop the closet, everybody. I just love that one. Here's just some super simple pegboard, cut out, spray painted. You can use little clothespins, different sizes. You can order these on Amazon because I ordered these for a wedding not too long ago. But then you could put your Christmas cards if you wanted to. This is just, you know, these are the split peas.
Lentils.
Yeah.
It's like lentils to me.
Yeah, obviously it probably is. Okay, how adorable is this? This is nothing more than using the chalkboard paint and drawing the fireplace, making this cozy little theme area for the holidays, for the winter. And here are those, just get a stick from the yard. You're going to spray paint it white or off-white or gold, whatever you want to paint it. Again, if it's a white background, you're not going to necessarily want to paint it white, but whatever's going to have a cute contrast. But the kids could have been involved in this. And maybe at your workshop, you give a couple snowflake templates. So again, you're just charging them up. And at the end, it's like, gosh, I love all their ideas. I'm just going to call them. So here's a red frame. Carol, you can tell them about yours.
Well, I mean, I had this old frame that was hanging around forever. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to spray paint that thing red. And because I use pretty much traditional colors, I may use a sharper green now rather than the traditional green, but I use a lot of red and white. And I've used that frame for, I don't know, the past 8 years. And I just put it everywhere. I'll put it on the mantle. I'll put it beside the mantle. I'll put something in it or just use it alone. It's just a backdrop for something else. And so I love keeping my red frame for whatever I might need it to be.
And it's a different kind of front door welcome too, because you're expecting something circular. I love this idea on the right. This can be anything that you want to use as your form. It can be PVC pipe that you cut. It could be the old spice tins. It can be the lids from the mason jars. You're going to have to put something not so deep in those, but then you get to create the color story that you want to with this fun little tree. Again, this is just showing, this is some banister ideas. How different is that? You can just focus on just the end, not go all the way up. Let's say you don't have enough for that. Love this one. What a coastal feel that is with the big roping. And how unexpected is this? This is just cute. Here's a little, you know, treat as you could walk up and put everybody's name on it. And then after your event, let's say you are having a gathering, everybody can take their gift with them.
Another fun thing to do is, like with the wreaths coming down, you know, they've gotten very big. You first started out many, you know, like I said, I've been doing it 50 years. Many years ago, you just got that little bitty garland that was like weak and, you know, about this big around, and you did that. Well, I've kept my garland year after year after year. What I'll do is I'll literally braid it with new garland and newer garland. And now I've got a great big thick garland. But I started out with that little bitty one that I had many long years ago. So, you know, I'm the practical decorator, remember? I want to be practical about this.
I love it. And you know, listen, everybody appreciates that. And the end result is, yes, you need to honor their budget, but they appreciate anything different and new, because when people come to their house, even if it's their kids coming down like, oh, that's kind of different. Oh, I love that, especially if you've personalized it. Okay, so number 4, I got to keep us moving here. I want to respect your time. Holiday gatherings. These are just some interesting ways to add some interest to your table. I mean, how cute is this? These can be anything from a scarf. This could be a table runner. It could, I mean, just using your creativity, but how simple. It's just putting the little wreath and tying the knot that helps hold it in place. If you need to wire, I do like colored pipe cleaners if you have to. How cute is that, y'all? And Carol could paint her red frame.
I could. See, that's Santa's belt. Got it, guys? Do you get it? It's Santa's belt.
I think they got that one.
I need something more on that table. Oh, I love this. The unexpected.
So unexpected. I mean, think about decorating the steps, not rafter, the riser. Is it riser? Yeah.
Riser.
Yeah. Those risers. And oh gosh, there's a limit. I mean, there is no limit to what kind of thing you can do with this, but they're peel and stick. I mean, you can just find these anywhere. Just Google this. Etsy, Amazon. These were just some cute ones. I mean, if you're teaching your workshop, if you've got them captive in front of a bookcase or at a library, how adorable is this? And let's just say all you've done is turn these books around backwards, and it's really easy to make that one. Oh, how creative. I mean, let's think about it. If you're in Texas, I mean, Dallas, this is a good idea for you. For Dallas or any of those kind of Western areas, how cute.
And what I like about this one on the right is that rather than going around the tree, you know, like everybody expects, this is just his scarf. It's stunning.
I mean, here's just some different ideas. This is actually the tomato cage that you would use. And you haven't even tried to fill it up all the way. And notice the scale, how large those ornaments are. I just love that. I just think this is so different and unexpected. So I'm giving a shout out. This is Maggie Shippy, and her business name is Shippy Chic. And she took the seasonal decorating class, and she did exactly what we suggested. And she went and signed up for a parade of trees. And people would buy the trees, auction off the trees, and it went to charity. So her first tree that she did was she took an iron bodice. You've well seen these. And it was gorgeous. The tree, her bodice tree, whatever we want to call it, went for $2,500. A local jewelry store bought it and put it in their jewelry store, and they kept it there all year long. So that was one of those marketing efforts. First was a write-off, got to use her creativity, and got traffic going by all the time. And they were talking about, they gave her credit. So the next year I called her and I said, I can't wait to see what you're going to do this year. So she went with her daughter. And this tree is Joy. See the scale of these wooden ornaments, faux ornaments. Here's some antlers, and just not filled up with a lot of little stuff, but more larger scale. And then their tree on the left that they did, it was a succulent tree. And basically it was organic feeling, and they put in some faux succulents in it. So this is a great way to support your community and have a purpose for doing it. So at the end of the day, you want to be supportive. So here these are up close so you can see these.
I see cotton and everything in that.
Cotton. But I love when we use those larger scale, because your clients are not necessarily doing that or going to expect that, and they will really love it. So this is about kicking up your heels. You have really learned a lot, I hope, tonight. And check out our schedule. Contact us if you have any questions. Let me make sure I don't have any more comments. There is our contact information. And okay, one second. Oh, this is a good point. Miller's in North Carolina, and there are very few indoor pre-lit trees, which that's where if your area of your region of the country, because she's saying Christmas trees were born there. Okay, if that's not your trend and they are not open to that, then like you said, by golly, you're going to learn how to wrap those lights, and and if you don't want to be the one wrapping it, then that's where you're going to delegate. Listen, I have things that I don't like to do, and I will delegate them out. And that's where, and when you do the math, you don't have to be a math wizard to know what you're paying somebody to do that versus what you're charging. So yeah, don't be shy about doing that. Okay, so this is what worth waiting for. So we wanted to make this, what am I supposed to do, Carol, to make this do its thing?
Don't worry about it. That's
Well, no,
okay.
I got it. Okay.
Click it again. Click it again.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, there we go. Obviously, I delegated that task out because I'm not good at that. So we are offering for a very limited time 40% off all of our online certification classes. So what you can do, and they're only online and they're only certification classes. So that includes seasonal decorating, luxury staging, occupied staging, home staging, interior redesign and decorating, and confident color. And special, if you want to specialize in bookcases, guys, that class is like $2.99, I think. So you're getting 40% off. We were talking about this today. You do not have to listen or complete these classes by the 10th of October. You just have to purchase them, and then you can listen to them at your leisure. If you buy the seasonal decorating, you can get the 2 done for you presentations. If you've already completed the seasonal decorating and you want to have the 2 done for you, like this is one of them tonight, you have our permission to plug your information in and claim it as your own. And you'll just need to send us an email saying, hey, I took the seasonal decorating class and I want the presentations. That way we have an opportunity just to, make sure we have everybody on the list, and you'll send that code and we'll send you the code to download those. Okay, does anybody, I'm going to open this up if anybody has any questions. I encourage you to take advantage. Everybody thought we were crazy when we said we were going to do this for 40% off, but pays to be on. And it is your chance to do it. So you will put this in the cart online. You'll go to the DSA and on the online learning, you'll put it in the cart, and then it'll look like you're having to buy it, but then there'll be a little place that says, do you have a discount code? So you will enter LTWS40, and that will then take the 40% off. Can the classes be done at one time? Absolutely. In fact, we have had students say, I like to do color and then I'm going to jump to staging, or then I'm going to do, we do suggest that you do the home staging before you do the luxury or the occupied, because that is the core class. But yes, Josh, and listen, I'm going to give a shout out to him because we taught today, and it's just learning. When we put ourselves out there to learn the most we can, that just makes us more creative. And we love bouncing ideas off of each other. So thank you guys. I mean, we are down to the minute. We have done a good job staying on task. And you know what, if you don't mind giving us a shout out on join our groups, we've got the Decorating and Staging Academy on Facebook. Check out our Instagram. We have an awesome social media gal, and she posts some really creative things. So check that out. And if nobody has any other questions, we will say goodnight. We will let's see, we have one more. Hold one second. Let me make sure I get this. Oh, on the Instagram page, we're always the Decorating and Staging Academy or Decorating and Staging Academy. I think that Instagram is the one that we couldn't get the word "the" in there, but okay, Decorating and Staging Academy, and like we got Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two biggies. We don't really do Twitter that much, but
We don't tweet.
we don't tweet. We're doing good because we're busy doing seasonal decorating. Well, we appreciate everybody. And if there's anything that you are dying to have on last Tuesday webinar, let us know. These are the two that are coming up. We have Benjamin Moore, and they're going to talk about, you know, what everything we need to know about their colors, any tools that we would like to use. This will actually be a CE credit class. And so, you know, we're not famous for sending out a bunch of newsletters. So you'll watch and see when that's coming up. And then Tori Toth is going to do one on marketing, which, you know, it's always good to know what's happening with algorithms and all that good stuff. So thank you guys. We appreciate it. And thank you, Carol.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys jump into the seasonal decorating pool and swim through the dollars.
Oh, yeah. Carol's our money girl. All right. Well, I like it too. All right. Have a good night, everybody.